what's going on? And I barely use my cell phone, so I know nothing. So I don't expect anything from me. So I have a very, fantastic guest is Jeff Wang. He's been with us many times, and he's going to go into what's happening and what's going on inside this massive world of cryptocurrencies. I've never trusted the dollar. I started off as a silver guy, then gold, and now I have Bitcoin. But I just don't trust my government. I mean, that's what it comes down to. And it doesn't make a difference if Trump was in or Biden was in. We're still getting screwed. And what's happening to, in my opinion, the income inequality is very simply that you have one thing going on is technology. Technology is wiping out jobs all over the place. And it's going to increase artificial intelligence and all that. Like my friends who are accountants and lawyers and doctors, they say pretty soon we don't need as many of us because blockchain can handle a lot of that. So this idea of job security for life and you can stay with a company forever is kind of obsolete thinking. And then the second problem, so one is artificial, one is technology, but second is corruption of the US dollar. And they just keep, instead of solving the problem, they just keep printing more of it, so the debt just keeps going up. But it makes it harder and harder for the guy literally in the street today to survive, because they don't have the job skills, they don't have the skills and all this to earn the income that'll get them off the streets. And so it's more than systemic. This is global transformation right in front of us. But the question is, where do you put your money? I started off years ago saying cash is trash, and it's becoming trash. The more that artificial intelligence and technology makes things more efficient, prices should keep coming down, but the Fed keeps pumping it up. And so we have the guys in the middle, the people that, lesson number one in Rich Dad Poor Dad is rich don't work for money. Because the moment you do that, you're screwed. So it's coming true right now. It really deeply concerns me, especially now that I'm going, oh my God. What I was saying 25 years ago is coming true today. And so that's why people have got to understand what goes on in your head, because that's the future now. The future of money lies in my opinion, crypto or Bitcoin and blockchain. And the reason I'm not judging Bitcoin, I'm judging the stupidity of our government. And when I am being a real estate guy, when I look at how much debt is going to default, and the question is, when all those office buildings around San Francisco can't pay their rent, who's going to bail them out? That's why I put my 50,000 bet. It was a bet against the economy. It wasn't a bet on Bitcoin. And I'm betting they're going to print. I mean, if they don't print, we're screwed anyway. So
yep.
That's kind of my philosophy. It's not a very sophisticated philosophy, but I'd rather have Bitcoin than dollars right now. That's all I'm saying. What holds it all together then is blockchain.
Yep.
Because blockchain is the contract. That's why I understand it. And blockchain, which doesn't work in the old world of real estate, gold, silver, and all that, was you never knew what those guys were doing with it. There was no transparency in the Fed or Wall Street. And so what blockchain does is it's a decentralized system, right? And everybody's a part of it. It's not like the Fed is in charge of it. If I was to go and try and change the system of Wall Street, let's say, there'd be a lot of guys who would be upset.
Yeah.
Because they're making too much money the way it is. So why are you going to come in here? And so you'd have to go to Congress and the Senate and make all these changes. You guys are making these changes on the fly, just because I think you guys trust blockchain. You don't trust human beings.
Actually, I never thought of that. I think it's almost impossible to pick winners that will be the same winners in 3 years from now, because blockchain moves so fast.
Yeah. And it's only the speed of your thoughts right now. Because what we're talking about today with Bitcoin and Ethereum and cyber, it's invisible. And, the brain is designed to see the physical. The mind is designed to see the invisible. And so for people who are brain oriented, they're screwed right now. And you have to go into your mind to see the relationship between, let's say, gold and Bitcoin, or Bitcoin and Ethereum, because it's in your mind, it's not in your brain. And that's the tough part right now for many old guys like me. So I'm just grateful I have a lot of gold, silver, Bitcoin, and Ethereum, and I don't get into the argument. Like Peter Schiff he's arguing about gold and silver, and Max Kaiser's arguing back. And I go, why the heck you guys arguing? Just get as much as you can right now, because the government's screwed. We're screwed. Our whole economy is screwed. We're so deeply in debt, we can't even, it's sinking into like quicksand right now. And you're arguing about which one should I have, gold or silver or Bitcoin. Just buy something.
Yeah.
So, a derivative is an interesting phenomenon, and it's, you've gone into the mind now. It does, you have this piece of real estate. The mortgage is the derivative, and then when they put MBS as mortgage-backed securities, that was a derivative on a derivative, and that's why when it collapsed in 2008, it collapsed. Just like J.P. Morgan, I think they paid $95 billion fine for manipulating the gold market when those criminals get into blockchain. And, hopefully, all I understand about blockchain, it's more secure and more transparent and less manipulable than what J.P. Morgan and Goldman Sachs were doing. So let me give you my logic system, because, I'm a really old guy, and I looked at this whole thing, and I just didn't trust my government. That was it. I didn't trust Wall Street. I took 3 companies public, and every time I did that, I got nauseous. Do you know what I mean? I just got sick at how they manipulated, lied, cheat, steal. Mm-hmm. And so that's why I stayed out of the stock market. I mean, it cost me a lot, because I refused to jump into the den of thieves, or where I didn't know who was screwing who out there. And I stayed in real estate, and I stayed as an entrepreneur, things that I could control and I had management over. But it sounds like to me, and correct me if I'm wrong, that what blockchain did to it is it brought trust, a little bit more trust and transparency, and less not criminal, but you guys would jump over anybody in there who was screwing with the system, right? More questions. So a whole Polkadot for a while. Way back when, in the 2000s, that was 21 years ago, they had the dot-com area blew up, and I think the only ones that survived were like, I guess, Facebook and Amazon, and there was pets.com, and everybody was starting a dot-com company back in 1999, 2000, and all this, and it all collapsed down, and only the real survived, should we say, which was Amazon and those guys. It is changing so fast right now, and when I look at what's coming up from the real estate side, how many of these projects are going to collapse, and then we have our pensions are going to collapse. I mean, I don't see. That's why I'm into Bitcoin and Ethereum, and I'm into gold and silver. I just don't trust the dollar. It comes down to that.
Small ebook, big impact, the wealth tree. The only 4 ways that will make you financially free forever. Download it here for free.